We welcome in the new head basketball coach at BYU, Mark Pope. There's a Pope in Provo. I know the headlines are like super cheesy.
Got to go there, though, right?
But yeah, we kind of feel like we have to go there. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, guys. It really, in all honesty, the reason I took this job was because I knew I would get to come on here with you guys.
Well, we're happy.
Unbelievable.
We're happy that we could somewhat influence that.
How come that little bit didn't make its way into the press conference yesterday?
I was saving it. This is breaking news right here. You got to save the good stuff.
I was just saying, I saw you walking around the annex yesterday with 2 keys, and you're like, I think these work. Did you get into the doors you needed to get into?
I can't get in the main door, so I'm still locked out. So this morning I was circling. I finally had to go find a janitor in the Marriott Center who could go let me in.
You signed the contract, right?
I signed the contract. But they didn't like the press conference yesterday, so we're going to try and get this guy out of here.
Let's see, yeah.
So but we finally got in, and then I do have 2 keys. One key apparently opens all the doors in the lower level, and one is all the top, but I can't tell the difference between 2 keys. So you guys hired a real genius, okay?
That's why you have good assistants, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That stuff. You can always call Bushman, right?
Yeah,
Steve Bushman,
the greatest all time. Can I tell you? This Steve Bushman was like, I think we were the first 2 people on campus this morning, and he's already up in the office trying to give me some gear. He's
fantastic.
Beautiful.
Get him some swag.
Yeah, that's right.
Get him some swag.
We talked to you a few years ago when you left and got the job, and I can't remember if you said it or we said it. Who said it?
I think we said it jokingly as he was walking out of Studio
said,
B.
We'll see you in 4 years.
That's why you guys are making the big bucks, man. You guys are like prognosticators of all time, right?
We missed on prescient. I don't know if you remember me shaving my head. I missed on
Yeah, fair enough.
Mark Pope with us in Studio B, new head basketball coach at BYU. Everybody's interested in the timeline of when your assistant coaches are going to be in place. I'm sure none more excited than you, but they got to go through due process and BYU and hiring, all that stuff. So when do you expect to have your full staff in place?
Well, I'm hoping, it sounds crazy, but I'm hoping to have them in place in the next 3 weeks. So, and the process is going to take about 3 weeks, I'm guessing, give or take. So that puts us, it's not ideal because we miss a little bit of recruiting time. So I'm going to be, what was Jimmer's show that came out, The Lonely
Master?
Lonely Master. On BYU.
I'm not sure I'm a lonely master, but it's a little lonely over there in the offices right now. Although I did just walk by, I saw something. I'm telling you, I'm going to try and paint this picture. I walked by, and in the lounge is Dalton Nixon and Zach Selyus sitting there, matching polos, laptops open, and I stuck my hand in, I was like, what's up, guys? And they're like, we're waiting for our tutor. It was unbelievable. I'm like, these kids are extraordinary, these young men. So most importantly, if you guys are watching, turn off the TV, please. Turn off the TV and get back to studying. But I was a little disheartened because Zach Selyus was eating string cheese,
Okay.
and I didn't like the way he was eating it. He's pulling off little tiny strips of string cheese.
You want to go at it?
I think you got to eat the string cheese, man. It just was so. Anyway, I don't know what we were talking about, but that's what I was seeing.
Zach and his dainty pulling apart of the string cheese.
Hey,
okay.
Whatever, yeah. What's this transition been like? Because certainly, going to UTV, you were building something, and like you talked about, you got emotional. You were invested in that. Yet when Dave retires, this is suddenly, wow, okay, this job opens up. So emotionally, what is this like for you right now?
It was a little bit of a torturous 10 days, just because there was a lot of stuff going on, and then yesterday in the locker room was really hard with my former guys, and then. Yesterday afternoon, evening was great, getting to meet the team here, and then it's just like full steam ahead. I'm so excited. Like, I woke up this morning, we have massive challenges ahead of us, right? It's crazy, but I'm so excited. I can't wait to get in here, and we're going to go really hard and really fast to see what we can do. So emotionally right now, it has been a roller coaster, but right now we're focused and full steam ahead. We are. I guess we means me and the players because there's no staff yet, so we'll see.
Saw Rick Pitino send out a nice tweet congratulating you and saying
he charges me for those. You know that? So he literally sends it out, and he sends me a $5,000 invoice. It's not like he hasn't, but yeah, he's been really gracious. I love him. Like he changed me forever. He changed the DNA of who I am, and it also helps when he sends out complimentary stuff because people, whether they love him or they hate him, they listen.
Some people were wondering why there weren't any players at the press conference. They were in the gym playing.
Yeah,
I believe, right?
I was actually so excited about that. So it was actually a double-edged sword because I met with the team and then they told me, they're like, Coach, we're not going to go to the press conference. We're going to go ball. And I'm like, as a coach, you're like, this is awesome. And then as a coach, I'm like, these guys don't want to hear me talk. They know what's coming. They know they're going to get a lot of lectures. So that's what you want. I mean, you want guys that are dying to be in the gym, and I think that culture exists here, and we're going to double down on that culture. And this game is. I exchanged text with George Carl, who's one of my mentors, this morning, and his text back to me after congratulations was something to the effect of, "I'm glad you're loving our game." Right? This game is something special, and it's got its own little bit of sacredness in terms of how it can grow us and help us learn. And the fact that these guys love to play this game is important. It's why we're going to be good.
Mark Pope with us in Studio B. You mentioned that it's going to be probably, you hope, a 3-week process to put your assistants in place. But, I mean, you've made the transition and gone through all this at Utah Valley University. So walk us through the next month or so. What's life like as you make this transition?
Well, it's like 100 different edges, right? So first and foremost is these players. It always starts with players. So recruiting the players on this team and then recruiting the future BYU players. So as I raced through stuff late into last night and then this morning already, that's been the number one thing to tackle. And then you flip it all the way to the other side. He's like, I still don't have a key to get me into the building, right? So I got to get an ID card at some point or something. So, and everything in between. And so you just chase it as fast as you can, and as organized as you try and be, it tends to get scattered. And you just bring in. I actually had to go to a breakfast meeting, so I came to the office, went to a breakfast meeting, came back, and then there was somebody sitting in the chair where the executive assistant sat. I've never met her, but I was so delighted to know that there was actually somebody working there. So we introduced ourselves, and they're like, "Let's go." So it's really exhilarating time. The first 3 or 4 months, when you take a new job, and it is just it's late nights and early mornings. I remember when we took the job at Utah Valley, Cody Feger, who's a dear friend of mine and an unbelievable coach. This guy, his reach is really incredible, and
great 3-point shooter as well.
Yeah, and great 3-point shooter.
I can't believe how good.
Talk a lot of quiet smack too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll do that. Yeah, and he likes to show off his body. He claims that he's got a big time body. So he, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had to get our Adidas order for the whole next season. This is like week 2.
Oh man.
We got an email that morning, just a reminder, guys, in case you didn't know, you have to get your whole Adidas order in for the next, for next year. Nike doesn't do that. They're much better to work with, by the way. Much
now
better.
That you're here, you should say that.
So we're sitting at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to like punch gear. Our order was so whack for that whole season. It was ridiculous. But that's how it is, right? It's one thing at another time, and it's one of the reasons I love this job so much, right? Is getting the opportunity to be a coach, and there's nothing like being a coach here.
Mark Pope with us on BYU Sports Nation. How will your recruiting philosophy change going from Utah Valley to BYU? Because it is a different approach. Yeah. It can't. I mean, it was transfer heavy at Utah Valley for good reasons, and you found great success with that. It's going to be different at BYU.
Yeah, it is different, and I've talked about this a lot in the last week. Actually, is I've had a chance to talk to Tom and Brian and the administration here, and with the portal being introduced, and there's no blocking transfers anymore. Like literally the whole world of college basketball now is steering towards the spring. Like the spring is when to recruit. It's when you go get Division I transfers and grad transfers, so much so that it's almost like it's taken a little bit of the luster off of the fall recruiting of players 80 to 250. Does that make sense? Where that used to be a prize deal. Now everyone's kind of waiting to see like, hey, I know that player's pretty good, but I might be able to get a grad transfer that's going to change my life next season. And so I don't think it's bad to go against the grain. I really don't. I think sometimes, it's a pendulum that swings back and forth, and it will. And so if we're moving back the other direction a little bit, I think it can be really positive for us. We have to make it that way because that's what we can do here, right? So we'll focus on that. We'll still, on the right occasion, if we can, maybe grab a graduate transfer and a Division I transfer and even a junior college player. But it certainly won't be the heart of what we do with the majority of the roster. I think that'd be really challenging here.
Well, speaking of transfers, Chase Fisher comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean Chase Fisher
was all right.
he was so fantastic here, and obviously had an unbelievable career here, and he was great. He was great for the university.
When you look at some of those things you mentioned in terms of, you said, I don't deal in realistic expectations. That's why I'm in sports. And there are certain challenges like in this league. Like
You guys don't
right?
deal in realistic. You started this show 6 years ago? And you just walked in here with nothing, and now you're the #1 rated show in the world, right? I mean, that's not realistic expectation, but look what you guys
Maybe
have
in the
done.
BYUtv world, if that, yeah. What are some of those things in your mind that perhaps could be perceived as unrealistic with BYU basketball?
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is a turning point, right? So Coach Rose has been here as a fixture of this program with such unbelievable success for a long time, and so in this transition, it's always a little bit of a tenuous spot, so when you talk about unrealistic expectations, you might look at a roster on paper and expect what they might be able to accomplish. But then you look at a team the same team on roster, but then you put into account the synergy that you can form between guys, and they can be better than that and better to a much higher degree. So, so when I talk about realistic expectations, what I'm talking about is like what you look on paper, and when I talk about, not giving those the time of the day, I'm talking about the special sauce that goes into a team. And so hopefully that's something we'll be able to do, is put big time special sauce into our teams, and we'll be better than people think we're going to be, and that's what we're chasing.
I need you to do something for me. There are a pair of blue goggles in front of that volleyball in front of you.
Yeah, bring it. Oh, no.
Those ones.
Yeah.
I want you to throw those on and tell me how
this is my size.
Yeah, tell me how the world looks through those blue goggles.
Let's go. This is fantastic. Can I keep these here? I'm gonna wear these around all day, man. This is like the new thing, isn't it?
Our gift to you.
This is so fantastic.
You realize we're neighbors now. Like, you're in the annex, we're here.
I know. It was so amazing. It took me 2 minutes to walk over here. That was so great.
Great. Yeah, this is our welcoming gift to you.
Yeah, housewarming gift.
Our
Welcome to the
office
neighborhood.
present.
You guys are paying me for this, right?
With those
With the blue
goggles.
goggles, of course.
Yes. Oh, that's a great image. You got a schedule as well. There's that on the table going on.
Yeah. How aggressive are you on a schedule in year number one?
Well, we're pretty aggressively scheduled now. We're going to the Maui Classic, and that I don't know if you've looked at the lineup.
True
but
that.
There's actually some reasonably good teams in this deal, and of course we're playing Houston again. I mean, there's really good teams on the schedule. We have a couple holes we got to fill, and we'll see how we can do it. I mean, if we can get somebody that I would love to get another game where everyone's like, let's go. That's going to be really fun and terrifying, right? You like the games that terrify you.
We're going to do Kentucky Duke back to back.
Listen, I mean, could you imagine doing that here?
Wow.
How fun would that be, right? So I don't have the legs to get that done right now because the schedule's so far along. But I hope in the future that we can do things like that. I think it's good for a program. I think fans love it. I think the only person that it costs is the head coach because it hurts his record. But in terms of a program growth and recruiting and exposure and development of a team through the course of a season, one thing you think about when you're really thinking about your team, you start right, and your real goal is can we get better every single day so that we can be peaked at tournament time, right? And that sometimes can be an elusive goal because there's a lot of things to factor in. But sometimes playing a really hard schedule and not having to win every single game leading up to it, sometimes that can be a real growing thing for a team, and sometimes it's the right thing for a team. So we'll take our shots at finding an aggressive schedule when we can.
Okay, well, we're giving you those goggles if you really want
Thank you. If you give them to me, I'm coming back. I'll come back.
Yeah, you take them.
Let's go.
And then we've got some swag for you, a BYU Sports Nation shirt.
Let's go.
So
Are
hopefully
you
it's your right size.
kidding?
If it's not, we'll figure it out later.
This is
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's
Your first piece of swag.
BYU Sports. I am a good-looking dude. Would you look at that face, man? Seriously.
You came a long ways up University Parkway up here. It's been a journey.
All right.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Appreciate you guys.
And can we have you sign our flag?
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
we
do
need
that.
to sign the Sailor Kook flag.
All right, let's
We
go.
need a former Denver Nugget since they're actually
There
good
we
now.
go.
Yeah.
You have no nuggets on here?
No,
I don't think we have any Denver Nugget
no
on there.
former Nuggets. Yeah.
Mark
Okay.
Pope signing the flag right now, and in
Awesome.
doing so, he takes some BYU Sports Nation karma with him for
Good luck.
the transition.
Okay. Good luck with everything.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
you guys. Thanks so much.
Mark.
Thanks, guys. Have a
You
great
got
day.
it, man.
He's out. He's got to go.
He gotta go. He got
He's
stuff
gotta
to
hire
do.
assistants.
He got
He's
stuff
gotta
to
win
do.
the team over, and he's got to get the finger scanner to work. He's busy. He's busy.